Alright, so I know this looks gross. It's all mixed up with eggs and all wet, but he loves it. Get us. Come on. Damn, I left it a fucking mess in here. This is what the motor's looking like right now. What's up, guys? Welcome back. As you can see, I was up really late working on this thing, chipping away at it. I finally got it to crank and turn on. So the car won't idle, but it will crank and it will start. So that's progress. But it didn't come without any issues. The car won't idle. It idles really bad and then shuts off. I have a couple ideas of what it could be, and also the fuel rails leak really bad. So I'm running a set of BBK fuel rails on it. I don't know if you guys can see, but they're these ones right here, and I have my AN lines connected to them. But anyway, I'm having a really bad fuel leak coming from them. I'll grab a flashlight so I can show you guys. So right in there where it says Aeromotive, that is my fuel regulator, and it is positioned right here on top of the fuel rail. And this thing is leaking fuel. I don't know if you can see it kind of puddling around the bracket, but where it bolts to the fuel rail itself, and also where the regulator bolts onto the adapter. So we're having a really nasty fuel leak from there. So I definitely need to get that fixed before I'm able to drive the car and leave it idling and start diagnosing it. But anyway, right now I'm on my way to the gym. We're gonna go hit the bag for a little bit. And once we're done over there, we're going to come back and try to work on this thing and try to get it running right. I'm not going to mess with that fuel leak. I did reach out to BBK customer support, and they said that they were going to send me another set of their O-rings that they use for that regulator. So I'm just going to wait for that. But I have started exploring other options to run for those fuel rails, because from what I've seen online, it's really common that those leak. People don't like running the BBK ones. They are one of the cheaper options to run. But yeah, the unfortunate part is that there are no real good budget fuel rail options for this car and for this engine, like there are for the LS1 engine in the truck. And the LS1 engine in the truck, I ran Holley fuel rails, and they were not that bad. They were like 120. For this thing, a set of fuel rails from Aeromotive with fuel lines and everything is give or take like $800 for the kit. If you want a trick flow one, it's like $700. So it's definitely not worth it to run fuel rails on this thing if you're running one of those kits, unless you absolutely have to. These already came with the engine when I got it, so that's the reason why I'm running the BBK ones. Otherwise, I would not have paid money for these. I believe these are like $220, and they come with NPT and rubber line. I adapted it to run AN, and I'm still having issues with it leaking fuel. So I don't recommend any kind of fuel rails on your guys' small block Fords unless you guys do have the budget for the Aeromotive stuff. Or the trick flow stuff. Those are really good sets of fuel rails, and I haven't heard anybody have any issues with those. But unfortunately, Holley just doesn't make a nice budget set of fuel rails for this motor. But that's enough of that. I'm gonna go work out, and then we will be back to talk about this thing a little bit more. Holy fuck, it is fucking hot. Look at this. I just hopped in the car and I'm already sweating. I haven't even done anything. Alright guys, so now I'm back from the gym and back in the garage. I'm going to show you guys what I've been working on with this car. We are so close to getting the car running and on the road. We just need a couple small things to button up and dial in besides the fuel leak, and then the car will be done and back on the road. So first things first, since you guys last saw the car, the interior has been completely put back together. It is now a 5-speed car. The one thing that I am a little bit bummed out about is that through the whole process of having this seat covered with a bag so that whenever I sat in here I wouldn't get the seat dirty from the heat and rubbing on the bag, it caused some of the cloth material to wear off. So that kind of sucks that this seat was immaculate and now it has this little bit of wear right here. It's no big deal, but still, just anything, the condition of the car was perfect, and any little imperfection is obviously very noticeable. The engine bay is pretty much buttoned up. There's a couple things that I got to do here. Number one being addressing that fuel leak. So the aeromotive fuel regulator is leaking fuel. Number two, I need to wire these fans. This is actually pretty simple. I just got to wire one to the battery, one to a ground, one to the AC, and one to a manual override switch if I want to. And I also have to finish wiring this alternator. All I got to do is just take the black and orange wires, cut them, and put them onto this post, and then get the other little connector that goes here and splice that into this harness. No big deal. I just got to wait to get this connector from O'Reilly. I used to have it, but my dumbass threw it away, so now I need to wait until I can buy that. And hopefully after that the car will be ready and it will be able to be drivable. Obviously the car still needs a lot of work before it's finally done. I need to do the 5-lug conversion in the front with those big brakes that you guys saw in my last video. I also need to get another rear end back here. I have it right here on the side. 5-lug disc brake 373 rear end that will be going in the back, and also the back needs control arms and coilovers because I haven't addressed anything in the back. The back of the car is totally stock, with the exception of lowering springs, whereas the front of the car, everything is brand new. The car is on coilovers and it has a tubular cross member from Granatelli along with tubular control arms. Alright guys, so I have now just finished running the wires that I need for the alternator with the exception of one. Mainly just because I don't have the connector for it. I did go ahead and order it from O'Reilly, but they won't have it here until tomorrow morning, which is honestly no big deal because the car still leaks fuel, so I can't really drive it on the street anyway. But regardless, I wanted to at least get this done so that maybe this is the issue as to why my car is dying, and it's not wanting to idle. So I still have to do that one connector, although I'll try to start it for you guys without that connector and see if it works, if you can hear it idle. But yeah, I'm not making any promises, but I'll go ahead and crank it for you guys and see what the car does. Alright guys, so the car does want to turn over and it does want to crank, but then it dies, which honestly really sucks. You can hear the regulator. I don't know if you guys can, but there's a little bit of surging. You can hear the regulator leak and you can see it. I'm gonna do my best to show it right over there. Right over there, that's all fuel that's dripping off of the regulator, and it's falling down there. It's puddling up. Sucks that it leaks, but it's fine. We'll eventually get it addressed. But these are the lines that I ran, so I had totally forgot to do these when I originally did the alternator. It's just these two lines here. They get routed into. This was a 4-cylinder car, so keep in mind all the alternator stuff is on this side, inside the fender, so they get routed in here. There's an orange connector, or there is a connector with black and orange wires. There's 2 of them, and then there's another wire, a third one that you don't use. Those 2 black and orange connectors, you're going to go ahead and cut those, and then run your wire to the back of this alternator whenever you do an upgrade to a 150 amp alternator. As well as the connector. I don't know how good of a job it's doing of focusing, but there's a connector that goes here, and then this gets jumped into the white wire on this connector, and then that's how you are supposed to finish this off. But I don't have that connector there. I used to have it, but I threw it away like a dumbass. But yeah, I just need to get this connector and run that wire, and then that should be resolved here. As far as my surging issue with the fuel pressure regulator, it sucks that that happened, but it's all good. It's no big deal. We'll get that sorted out. But that is the end of today's video. If you guys did enjoy, don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button, as that would help my channel out a lot. We are close to 1,000 subscribers, so thank you guys so much to each and every one of you that watches these videos. But yeah, that's going to be the end of today's video. Hopefully next time I make one, I will have an update for you guys of this car running and driving as it should. But I will catch you guys in the next one.